Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Everything lined up. Okay. Good morning, Addison, Tamira. See, David is online. Michael. Goodness, everybody's awake this morning. You guys are doing better than me. And Amy, I am not. I'm not awake. I'm not awake. So, slept really, really hard, but I'm not awake. But good morning. So, yeah, it's just that stillness outside. As I woke up this morning, I did a lot of, last night I had some personal work on self-time and healing and all that good stuff, release work that I was doing. And I guess that made me wake up this morning and think about heartbreak. Actually, I was thinking about the past, and I was thinking about the topic of the past and how we tend to view our lives from the rearview mirror instead of looking forward and looking at all the things that that are to come and everything. And yesterday I was also working with multiple people, and the thing of the past kept coming up. But the thing of the past that kept coming up, and I know some of the stuff that I have been even holding on to myself, is you could classify as heartbreak almost. So, when we say, I decided to title this, heartbreak and other sticking points, and heartbreak being one of the, it's just nasty, isn't it? Heartbreak's nasty. And it's not just about romantic heartbreak. When we talk about heartbreak, and I know that some of the stuff that people are going to think when they see me talking about heartbreak is I'm going to talk about relationships and lost love and all that stuff. And it's heartbreak. That's definitely heartbreak. We get stuck in the what ifs. We get stuck in the, oh, but he or she was the one. We get served the divorce papers. We get told all of a sudden, I don't want to see you anymore. We find out that our partner's been cheating on us. Or our partner gets killed in a car accident, or gets, has some terminal illness. We lose a child, we lose a loved one. All of these things are heartbreak related things. So we are experiencing, anytime it is, quite literally, what I was looking at, what does the word heartbreak mean? The Hebrew word for heartbreak means to burst, to break in pieces, to crush. It is the pain that keeps on giving, right? It is the pain that keeps on giving no matter what it is coming from, whether that is a lost love or the loss of someone. And really, heartbreak is around another person. It's not, our hearts don't get really broken over the materialistic world. We experience loss, we experience, all this different stuff. If we lose our house, if our house burns down, yes, we're caught up, but we move on relatively easily. Where when we look at heartbreak, even like Heartbreak Hotel, I guess I could have titled this Heartbreak Hotel, but we're dealing with relationship, and that relationship is what heartbreak is all about. So our relationships are really our sticking points to the past, and how different events that happened in relationship that causes us to stick. Sometimes you're going to hear a lot of noise going on behind me. Everybody's getting up. Hopefully everybody's getting up. Like there's an alarm going off. He's going to experience heartbreak in just a second. My 12-year-old. There we go. Okay. And so when we're talking about, relationships and how they really do, they grab a hold of us, and they, we get really caught up on this person. It can be our child. It could be a really great friend. It can be our true love. What heartbreak does, though, is it holds us in the, what could I have done differently? What could, what happened? What should I have done? Wasn't, why was this taken from me? Why was this, not allowed to be in my life? And we really go internal and we hold ourselves in our heart space and we beat the shit out of ourselves with heartbreak, because we really do take it on as though it is us doing something, even when we're pointing the fingers outward and we're blaming somebody. So if we've experienced, let's say, our partner having an affair, the loss of a love, an intimate relationship, or, the divorce papers served or something like that, the breakup, we might be upset. We might point outward and say, how dare you do this, but internally there's a piece of us that is blaming ourselves for the heartbreak. And here's the thing, no matter what the heartbreak is, whether it is because heartbreak is all about the physical loss of somebody in our lives, moving on, that move on, who knows how that is, right? The way through it is to let go. The way through it is to go through it. It is a mourning process, whether that person actually physically passes on or they just move on and move into another relationship. The only way through any heartbreak is truly to just let go and move through, instead of letting it hold you in that spot where you're not living, you're not focusing on your future. You're sitting there, and quite literally picture it like you were looking, in a mirror, and you're just sitting there and you're staring in the mirror, and everything behind you is your past wrapped around this relationship, and you find yourself day in, day out, sitting in front of this mirror and looking at everything. It's interesting. I just had Harry Potter go through my head. I think that's Harry Potter. I think it's Harry Potter. Tell me if I'm right or wrong here. It doesn't much matter. I remember in I think it was one of the Harry Potters, where Harry ends up in front of a humongous mirror viewing his parents. And then he goes down to this mirror and he looks at his childhood and watching his parents and the death of his parents, and his parents come up and like put their hands on his shoulders and stuff. And I think that's Harry Potter. But it is that, and we tend to do that, but we do it in our moment to moment. So you might find yourself driving the car and stuck in this mirror. You might find yourself, thinking that you're working, right? You're working on your computer on something, or you're working on something, but where is your presence level at? Where are you truly at? Are you in the moment, or are you in the rear view, in this mirror, imagining other things? And what are the sensations coming up in your body as you stare into this mirror? That's a really, really big one. Because if you're sitting there, it's one thing to look in the mirror every now and then and go, oh, that was a beautiful time, and almost like I want to recreate that time. Or you need to tap into love. You need to tap into different positive sensations to pull yourself. But yes, see, I knew it was Harry Potter. Thank you, Addison. But if you're looking in that mirror and you're sitting there obsessed with the mirror, as Harry, right, was, and you get stuck. You get stuck in the mirror, and you get stuck in this image, and you get stuck in the loss of, how are you ever going to pull something better in if you're sitting in the loss and you're consciously remaining in the loss, like you're going back to it, because the loss is your drug. The loss is, it's addictive and because as you get trapped in these memories of things in the past, that you have moved through, and you're trying to pull yourself back to those memories, you're not able to move forward and experience, because you're sitting there, and you're sitting there in that scarcity, that basically really getting trapped into, the I remember when, and all those I remember whens. That was beautiful. I used to have that. I wish I could have that again. Why did that happen to me? What did I do? Why is God so cruel to take this away? All these different thoughts. All of that holds us, because what we're doing is we have basically planted our stake, set up camp in the past, instead of being right where we're supposed to be, which is right now, here, in the present moment. But we're making that conscious, addictive choice to camp out in a past memory and live in it, in what we would call the reality of I don't have, and I want, so like I'm trying to figure out why I don't have. You might even say that. So I know what happened. I need closure. No, you don't. I mean, yes, you do, but no, you don't. The closure was the goodbye, however that goodbye was. You can sit around and you can choose to try to figure out what happened, which is basically just throwing your time and your energy away on something that is never going to be. Or you can just open up and surrender to it. Allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to get mad. Allow yourself to be sad. Allow the tears to flow. Allow the fists to be thrown. Allow yourself to just really, really go through it. Mourn the process. Mourn the heartbreak. Don't hold it in. Don't give yourself okay, well, I was together with this person for 5 years, and then this happened, so I'm going to give myself 5 days to move through it. No. Mourning process, it's going to be popping up left and right for you. You've got to just step into it, breathe into it, allow yourself to feel those feelings, but don't get trapped in those feelings. Don't get trapped in them, because if you set up camp in those feelings, you're going to end up camping out in those feelings. You're no longer moving through. So go find things that are, for every feeling of loss, and that just, oh my gosh, my heart is going to burst. My heart is I can't handle this. I can't do it. Those words, I can't go on. I can't go on without this person. I can't go on like this. For every single I can't, you have to come up with 5 I wills, I ams. And those things will help move you forward. And quite literally, it's not just the thought. It's in those moments you have to take action. You have to go out there. You have to surround yourself with others who are going to help feed you into the positive of the now and the future, instead of sit around and focus on, that's the 3rd relationship breakup that you've had in the last 6 years. I don't know. I don't think you're built for relationships. No, that's not the friends you need in that moment. What you need is, she needs somebody that says, come on, let's go painting, let's go dancing, let's go take a trip. Let's join that book club, and it's a really great self-improvement book, it's this, it's that. Go do inspirational work. Work on yourself in those moments. Because it's really all you can do. It's all you can do. And the quickest way to get through, over a heartbreak and stop experiencing the heartbreak is to move through it, and move through it with grace and ease. And that means to understand that you're going to have your low days. That means to understand that that you are hurting, that you are upset. That means to understand that tears are going to flow when you least expect it. That means to understand that you do need to surrender. You do need to pray, meditate. You need to find those spaces of stillness and silence to learn how to tap into yourself, because with heartbreak, what it truly is a sign of is that there's this piece of you that got broken off because of the attachment to the relationship. And positive and negative attachment. All of us are going to experience heartbreak in this lifetime. It's part of life. You're going to experience it. How long you stay broken is your choice. How long you stay broken is your choice. How you choose to walk through it and handle it is your choice. How you choose to show up in the present moment is your choice. How you choose to learn from the experience and create the future that you want is your choice. Every single time you get caught in the what ifs and the shoulds and that past, realize that you are basically handing your power, yourself over in a victim state to a fictional character. A fictional character is the person who has left the building, okay? So you're handing yourself over to this illusion now, and you're becoming a victim of the illusion because it's not there. So why are you giving yourself to something that is not there, that's not supposed to be there? Everything happens for a reason. Everything is perfect. It truly is. I've experienced enough heartbreak in my life to know that looking back, when I look back at it, I go, I still love that person. There's still pieces of me that have a missing feeling, like I wish that I could be around that person a little bit more or connect. But when I really look at the relationship, I go, I couldn't have moved forward in that light with that person at that point, or somebody passes on. Your love doesn't have to be stopped because of the heartbreak. Your love doesn't have to be stopped because this person has chosen to move on in whatever capacity that means. It really is about you just sending that love to self first, and still being able to send it out and focusing in on that and allowing yourself to move forward so that you're not getting caught in that mirror of obsession over the past. Sometimes on the front side of heartbreak, you might feel, I'm thinking about like different heartbreaks, you feel like quite literally, how do you even know if your heart is broken? We use the word, I'm heartbroken. We use it pretty frequently. I hear a lot of people talking about, I'm heartbroken, I'm heartbroken, I'm heartbroken. And they get so caught up on it that, they can't sleep, they can't eat, they can't work, they start self-sabotaging. And yeah, that's all initial stages of heartbreak, because your world has been rocked, it's been changed. And then you get stuck on the memory lane, right? But how long are you going to sit in that? That's really, truly the question. It really, 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 truly is the question, because the longer you sit in it, you allow it to steal your tomorrows. And in that essence, is any relationship worth the stealing of your tomorrow, the stealing of your dreams, the stealing of your desires, the stealing of your future? Is your future worth losing over somebody who has chosen to walk away in whatever way? I hope you answer no to that your future is not worth losing. It's not worth it. So, let me see. I got a quote here. I was looking at in that book. There's like a whole bunch of quotes. I think I've used that quote before, so I can't use that quote. See? Don't accept your present temporary situation as your future permanent situation. Despite current circumstances, make up your mind to get on with your life and fulfill your divine purpose, to fulfill your future, to move forward. So how do you get out of the quicksand of heartbreak? How do you actually make that decision? How long does it take? It's different for each of us. It is. I think one of the next biggest things that we tend to experience is this need to try to, move on. It's kind of like saying, oh, I had a baby. I think this is goofy. Take it from mom of 7, right? I hear this from other women too. It's just like, oh, you have a baby, maternity leave is 6 weeks. So at the end of 6 weeks, your body should be fine. You should be healed. Everything should be good to go. And you're ready to part from your child. So get your ass back to work. Baby doesn't need more than 6 weeks of mom's divided attention. Other countries give a whole year. Some countries allow mother and father to even have a whole year off and they get paid. It's different for every single person. It's finding your ideal place. Is that message there? It's like, how long does it take for you to heal? Number one, it probably takes years. It probably takes years when we're looking at heartbreak. It might even take a whole lifetime. But it is how quickly can you get through, or what is the process that you need to get through to just have that space where at least you can breathe again. Be easy with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Allow yourself to sit in it. Allow yourself to experience it. Allow yourself to go through it. The more gentle you are with yourself and allowing and not letting the outside world dictate, well, that happened a week ago. You should be over it. My goodness, you need to get over that. That was 2 months ago. There are things after a certain time frame, whatever that time frame is for different heartbreak moments, where you can't just keep yourself locked up in your house crying. You can't. There's comes a point where you're gonna have to take a step. You're gonna have to take a step. You're gonna have to step out the front door. You're gonna have to go and do things. You're gonna have to get around people. You're gonna have to start experiencing life and living life. I'm talking about that initial crash. That initial crash. Allow yourself to really go there. Allow yourself to really dive deep and feel it, because the more you feel it and really embrace that moment and absorb it and just let yourself go, guess what? It's going to pour out of you. You're releasing it. You're experiencing it. You're allowing yourself to get mad, sad, anything else that's coming up. Step in full being into that mess and really embrace it. And then you're going to start to feel like there's this little space inside of you, this little light inside of you that starts saying, gotta pull myself out. I know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. I know I'm going to love again. I know I can do it. I know I can make it through. I know that there was a reason. Once you hear just one of those little I knows, or something like a little positive glimmer, flicker come through, that means that your spirit, that God is trying to send you that message of, it's okay. You're going to survive this. You're going to make it through. You will make it through. And then start focusing in on those. At that moment, your being is saying, it's time. It is time. It is time to switch gears. It is time that we have released. Now we're only replaying the record. So that is the switch, okay? So you go from the mourning process to replaying the record over and over again. You don't want to be replaying the record over and over again, but you need to fully embrace the mourning process. So how do you get from the mourning process and not step into replaying the record? It's that consciousness within inside you to hear that little message of it's time. And how do you get to that consciousness? Well, find that silence right now. Prepare for your heartbreak. Do the things to strengthen yourself so that when the heartbreak happens, because it will, it always does, shit happens. Do those things so that you have built up a spiritually strong muscle and you're prepared to be able to, so you don't get sideswiped. No blindsidedness here. That means get to know yourself now. have that strong connection to your intuition, to your feelings. Embrace the vulnerability of your feelings every single day. Build up your I ams. Do those things. Really start paying attention to that internal work. Spend 80% of your time doing your internal work and 20% of your time doing action-based work. Because that right there is going to make you strong internally. And when this stuff comes, you're going to be able to see a hell of a lot clearer and quicker and move through in a better fashion, which means embracing it all and also catching that it's time moment to move forward. So doing the work. And that really means make sure that you get in your meditation time. Make sure that you're doing your journaling time. Make sure that you're spending time taking care of you, building you up, exercising, eating properly, doing, really taking the time to slow down. Do 3 deep breaths a day. Hold on, Michael. When the heart is broken into 1,000 pieces, it is still within us. Smile, a smile. The needle that stitches the pieces back together. Smile as known that you are divine. Smile into the abundance of love that lives within. Really needed to hear this message. Oh, you're welcome, Michael. So, and thank you for that message. And yeah, and you know what? It's really hard in some moments to smile. But there are different techniques out there. I mean, like, get familiar with tapping. Tapping is a beautiful way of actually releasing stuff in our body. Man, I was tapping last night because my shoulder was just holding stuff, and I mean, it was, I don't know what the heck it was holding, but it was holding stuff, and I found myself tapping. I was tapping here, and I was tapping here, and I was tapping here. At one point, I found myself tapping up here. Get familiar with tapping. Get familiar with meditation. Really, truly. Get comfortable with prayer. Get comfortable with giving gratitudes. Get comfortable with stating some I ams. Stop saying, oh, I don't have the time to journal, or I have to do it on the computer. No, take your fucking pen and get a book and start journaling. Journal out. It is your trash can, okay? Your journal is your trash can. Where do you want that trash to be stored up? Up here? In here? Isn't it better in the book? Let that shit out. Let yourself process. Get rid of it. Clean house. Clean house. And sometimes, as we were talking about earlier in the week or last week, sometimes that means that you're actually cleaning your house, because your external world is really a sign of your internal world. So take on, I mean, quite literally, you could probably scroll through the conscious coffees of the last month and a half and come up with a list of 5 or 6 foundational practices that's going to help you move through heartbreak, that's going to help you move through any difficult situation that it becomes your sticking point, because, the other sticking points are the only other sticking points to any of it. Actually, the only sticking point, heartbreak or other, is where we're choosing to set up camp in our thinking and in our feeling. That's it. Where are you setting up camp? So, no excuses on the journaling, no excuses on the meditation, no excuses on the self-care. Do a radical forgiveness. That came up yesterday. You know what? Even when somebody breaks our heart, whether they pass on, like die, or they have an affair, or they just say, I want a divorce, or walk out of your life for whatever reason, guess what? You need to do a radical forgiveness in that situation, no matter what it is. Even if you're blaming yourself, forgive yourself, forgive them. You can just Google like radical forgiveness. Because that stuff, it's going to move things for you. It's going to open up and help you clear what needs to be cleared, so that you're not sitting there in that quicksand and getting stuck. So, okay. I feel kind of complete, so I guess I'm done. So I hope that this was helpful. for whatever reason, that's what came up. Maybe there's heartbreak stuck in my shoulder and I slept on it all night, and that's just where I was at this morning. Not feeling heartbroken, but that message, for whatever we needed to come through. And I love you guys. Take the time, share this message, if you will, on, just hit the little share button. It's not hard. Hit the little share button. Thanks for sharing your comments and all your love, being up at 6 in the morning with me for Conscious Coffee. I will be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock in the morning, but not doing Saturday and Sunday. So a little reminder to everybody, I'm not doing Saturday and Sunday. So thank you, everybody. And yeah, so I will catch you tomorrow at 6 a.m. Okay, bye guys.